So I grew up in Karachi, Pakistan, in a very small, tight-knit community. I had very supporting parents who were always encouraging to study and work really hard and try to accomplish the best in life. So I finished my A-levels here and then moved to London to study economics at LSE because I've been always very interested in that subject. And then right towards the end of the program, I got sucked into the world of investment banking by all these investment banks coming to the university to pitch their companies. We were really lucky to even have gotten a job at that point, because it was in 2008, 2009 when the credit crunch was actually taking place. So I got an excellent opportunity to really understand banking end to end. My first role was in the credit events team, where we're literally just looking at all of the different corporations that were going into administration and restructuring because of the credit crisis. Particularly also on the ABX and CMBX side as well. And then over the years, I sort of experienced various roles in operations and business control, and then client services, and then moved into the product side. So, spent a few years doing product development, and then understanding the entire sort of product development life cycle. And then once I'd done that, I sort of moved on to the revenue generating side of the business, really understanding product management and the challenges associated with structuring, various financial products. So I had a really full end-to-end experience to engage with so many different stakeholders within the organization, and I felt much more confident as a result of that to be able to take all this experience and apply it to to this new opportunity that's presented itself with Trellis. I think this is definitely going to be a step up for most of us, as we're stepping into these much bigger roles than what we've previously been doing. But I'd like to think of the role of being the CEO as someone who's able to really empower the team that's working for them first and foremost. So having all of these functional leads that are going to be responsible for their respective areas, and making sure that they have full autonomy to be able to make decisions within their respective remits. Also, obviously, as this is a new organization, there's a lot of emphasis on setting the vision and the sort of the goals for the company and what we're looking to achieve. As a social development enterprise, you have to strike the balance also between being a profit-generating entity and sort of contributing back in terms of both dollar returns as well as actual impact for the products that you're creating. So you have to strike a very fine balance in terms of how to create the right set of incentive structures and costs. So I think really a lot of time has been spent on that in terms of how we've also defined our governance processes and establishing policies as a financial institution. I think that's the main sort of area for where I think I can be able to contribute. And then really at the end of the day, the main objective for my sort of involvement is going to be to try to sell Trellis' story, right? As to what we're actually looking to do, why people should feel that this is a good model to be able to invest in, and at the end of the day, why this could actually make quite a considerable amount of impact if the right level of focus and capital can be allocated to its operations. So I think there are a lot of of challenges, obviously, with working in the housing finance sector in a developing country. Obviously, there are a lot of competing interests that have, prevented progress in the field of housing finance. I think both at the government level, in terms of implementing, stronger public institutions that actually deal with, the field of properties, and then also I think at the financial institution levels, for not really growing these types of portfolios. But I think with all of these, with the right level of focus that we're now seeing with the government and the right resolve, I think a lot of these challenges will be behind us, in the next, 4 or 5 years, I think. So the first thing is, with regards to macro level, I think the government is doing a fantastic job in terms of creating, more robust and controlled processes for, digitizing and recording land rights, land ownership. They really have to, I think, work closer in terms of standardizing this process and creating a more cohesive institution, I think, that looks at this on a going forward basis. Aside from that, I think with regards to just eliminating sort of corruption and creating more transparency in the whole process of getting approvals for construction projects, I think that's been fantastic in terms of creating again, a digital solution for, connecting various public institutions to be able to provide their requisite approvals in order to really speed up the whole process and make it more efficient as well. I think that's also going to start bearing fruit in a few years. And then I think a lot of work has also been done by really investing in capacity building institutions that have helped address these challenges previously, and really allowing us to be able to come in and create much more safer and scalable mortgage companies by just creating more awareness in the need for mortgage insurance, for example, or creating refinancing lines in the context of mortgages, or creating securitization solutions. All of these things will help us being able to really benefit from these solutions and actually just able to scale our business offering much more quickly and safely. I actually think we have a lot of things aligned for Trellis that increase its chances of success. We have board members that have decades of experience in the field of social development, microfinance, really trailblazers in this space. Also experts in the field of housing finance, having worked and established strong public institutions in so many different parts of the world, being policymakers in the field of housing finance as well with the World Bank. Also, when it comes to the actual, the C-suite or the team, we have been equipped with, good working experience in the best financial institutions in the world, also on the technology side, thought leaders in the space of, applying the best and the latest types of technology to, deliver solutions. So I actually think all of these things coupled together will increase our chances of success. In addition to that, I think, we're also being very thoughtful in terms of how we use the digital sort of solutions that we have today. So we're trying to be as cost effective as possible. We're trying to apply the best when it comes to actually creating processes and being very thoughtful in terms of the customer journey. You know, when you're dealing with people that do not have the capability of reading and writing, and you have to engage with them digitally, you know, you have to come up with very innovative solutions to actually, have those products actually work for, you know, this customer segment. And so we're hopeful that the work that we've actually put into actually creating, you know, our processes goes a long way in helping us actually scale. So we wanted to make sure that we have been very thoughtful and deliberate in terms of actually coming up with a solution. And now that we've actually, you know, once we're actually going into the market to test out the product, we'll of course be very attentive to how, you know, customers and the marketplace actually receives this product, and then iterate and improve upon it as required as well. That's the whole purpose of how things, you know, ought to be developed, and I think we'll be using the best practices in this space to make sure that we're coming up with a stellar product offering for our clients.